Sorry, it took a while to go live there, Jason. It's now officially live.
Copy that. I'll just wait.
I think when I tabbed away from it.
Oh, okay. I'll just stand by on this for like 10 seconds.
Cool. Katie says she's seeing it end to end all the way to their preview webpage. So we're all good there with our codes and everything.
Wonderful.
And so thanks for joining us, Eric and everyone else who's at the other end of the stream. My name is Jordan. I've been working with Katie, Daniel, and Sam. I have our webcast producer, Jason, with us here. We are just going to take a quick loop through what a typical show block will look like next week and the week after. So we're going to be on this loop here for a little bit. Then we'll go right into the HEB video. And then we'll get Daniel and Sam up to simulate a Q&A section. So since we're all ready to go, I think we will do it up. Jason, whenever you're ready, we can cue that first video.
Hey, I'm Cliff Smith, and today I'll be presenting with Sarah Bortnam. We're both on the site reliability team at HEB Digital. And today we'll be talking about how technical tool debt can be a thing, how Grafana is uniquely positioned to help, and how you can utilize it as the central square for your company's data. Or more importantly, we're recording this video in the hope that we can finally explain to our mothers what it is we actually do for a living. Dogs are awesome. Unless, of course, a delivery person arrives in the middle of your presentation for a conference. Fingers crossed. HEB has been around for a while. We've been doing pretty good. We care about people, and we're hiring. Seriously, HEB was founded in 1905. Just a short 107 years later in 2012, we dipped our toes into online sales, selling cakes from our bakeries. In 2015, we began accepting online orders for curbside pickup, and in 2018, delivery of online orders. In the past year and a half, amidst all the craziness, our business has grown over 300%. Yeah, it's a lot of toilet paper. During that time, we've also scaled up staffing across all facets of the company in order to support a true digital transformation. Now, prior to HEB, I had mostly worked at startups where there was little budget for the best tooling available, so we would normally choose the best open source offering and do our best to bend it to our will. When working at larger companies, you might find yourself with an overabundance of tools and or the ability to adopt whatever the new hotness is. As with most things, this can be both a blessing and a curse. So I'd been at HEB for just a few months before the before times became the before times, and I would find myself in meetings where stakeholders were digging into issues. And there were times where a discussion might go off the rails as everyone was using different tooling, configured different ways, and yeah, pointing to different conclusions. For example, in one meeting I was in, one group was using CloudWatch, another Firebase, another New Relic, another Splunk, and yet another was using Google Analytics. And to make matters worse, they often differed in how they rolled their data up, causing even more consternation. There's also the issue of data simply being siloed away when it could be potentially providing value. For example, allowing the service team to see not just the telemetry data they're emitting from their service to tool X, but also their services database metrics the DBA team is storing in tool Y, while also layering on the network metrics the network team is storing in tool Z. You get the picture. So my first incredibly naive inclination was to go all Costanza and declare that the madness must end and everyone immediately start using the same tool. You know, that elusive magical tool that does all the things for all the people? Yeah, unfortunately, that tool doesn't exist. And unfortunately for both of us, this isn't that talk. Acceptance. It's a thing. And sometimes when working with others, especially lots of others, you have to accept the current state and adapt to it. Maybe over time, the synergy of teams will better align, causing a paradigm shift in your observability story. Or more likely, those are just buzzwords and your data could be even further siloed a year from now. Looking around at options, enter Grafana. At its heart, it's an open source tool, freely available and freely extensible. After researching further, we saw that Grafana Enterprise would allow us to employ most of the data we already had, such that our partners could draw a much more comprehensive view of problems as they arise. In doing so, it allows our users to experiment and largely use the tool they deem best solves their problems, while also liberating the data we're already paying for to collect, store, and report on. Now, none of this would be possible without Grafana's plugin architecture. Grafana Enterprise provides a number of plugins for accessing big SaaS vendors, enterprises tools, and various other interesting services. Combining Grafana's default plugins, Grafana Enterprise, and plugins from the open source community afford your users a lot of flexibility in the data that's accessible to them and how they choose to make use of it. That's not to say that all data is equal. Some of your data might be deemed too sensitive for general consumption. In those cases, you have the option to easily restrict access to data to just those who truly require access to it. Before delving into examples of how we're using Grafana Enterprise, I'd like to note a few features Grafana has out of the box that help provide context and action to your data. Annotations are a feature you can use to help draw a more complete picture. They're great for noting important code and environmental changes, deploys, incidents, etc. While some tools support annotations, others don't, and if using Grafana, your annotations can be layered onto any of the data sources Grafana has access to. In addition to annotations stored internally, Grafana can retrieve annotations from other sources such as New Relic. Annotations are a great way to provide your future selves greater clarity on the why when the what happens. Likewise, you can use Grafana for alerting. Again, most tools you're using already provide alerting. However, using Grafana standardizes the approach across all of its data sources, simplifying the process such that users have to learn that many less tools. That brings up the question I was asked recently. Why use Grafana when other tools have a great serviceable UI already? Firstly, I'm not saying you should replace any of your tooling with Grafana, but I am saying Grafana Enterprise affords you the numerous wins mentioned already, as well as a common language for visualization and alerting. Once you've learned how to query the various sources of your data, you're not required to learn the idiosyncrasies of how to view, alert, and annotate with each and every tool, just the idiosyncrasies of Grafana. Oh, and did I mention you only have to maintain creds for one tool versus many? If you've ever worked for a large company, you know the struggle of authentication is real. Now, I'll hand it off to Sarah, who will talk through a few examples of how we're using Grafana. Take it away, Sarah.
Thanks, Cliff. Billing information for cloud providers has always been available, but not always approachable. If you're lucky, your company only uses one cloud provider. As you might expect, that is not the case for HEB. Ultimately, it was important for us to be able to find ways to compare the costs of different providers in a consistent manner. In addition to using a general overview dashboard, we are able to display information in numerous ways, such as by cloud provider account, project, subscription, and/or by owner. Having this information available in Grafana has afforded a level of transparency that would not have otherwise been available. Previously, a user would have had to learn the cost tooling for each cloud provider and ensure that they had the required permissions to set the view the tool at the level they wanted to view it. Another alternative would be to spend capital on one of the various tools specialized for such things. Now, it's simply available in Grafana, and alerts are configured for any.
How's it going, Daniel?
Not too bad, Sam. How are you?
you know, just getting the last bits of things ready for GrafanaCONline, our annual community celebration of all things Grafana.
I know, that's pretty awesome. I also am
pretty-
noticing now that somehow that we color coordinated shirts today, which, given that we're like 3,300 miles away, is pretty awesome.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. I can do a little Wizard of Oz trick here and be Dorothy back in Kansas until the tornado comes and blows me away to Oz again.
Well, try not to do that. We definitely need you ahead of the conference next week.
Yeah, but so the audience was kind enough to submit some questions in this little box that we should check out. You want to do some Q&A?
Sure. The first question I'm seeing here from Senior Finger is, do we have control to manipulate the size of the primary video?
Well, they are hard-coded into the actual video, but I'm not sure if there's some StreamYard magic to zoom in on things on the fly.
I think on the StreamYard, we definitely have the ability to pin people's videos. And I know for some of the ones that we're doing the panels on, we do. But for the actual videos, the only way I believe that we can make them larger is if we just instruct people to hit the view full screen feature of YouTube.
Whoa, full screen.
I know, it's insane.
What a concept. So, yeah. Let's I don't know. We got a whole bunch of other questions here. Cat Lady's got a question. Will there be cat videos? Well, Daniel actually has the power to turn me into a cat.
Do I? See? And if you have watched any of the court memes recently, I can say, Sam, are you actually a cat, or are you still just an employee of Grafana Labs?
I'm just me.
Okay.
Human for now, mostly.
Mostly. Well,
I could be a replicant, though. I don't know. This could be a Blade Runner thing.
Well,
oh wow, we have a question from Elon Musk. Wow, he's a busy guy. I can't believe he dropped in a question. He wants to know what the deal is with airline food. Well, I'd love to have airline food because that means I'm in an airplane again, like going somewhere. Oh, we have to wrap it up.
Oh man, is this like getting the gong played on you at night at the Apollo?
Probably. But maybe one more question. Suggestions for getting started with Grafana was Elon's other question. Well, there's an introductory workshop going on Monday to kick off this wonderful celebration of Grafana. We want to start off by giving everybody, get their bearings with Grafana. And I think Eldon and Austin are going to be doing that workshop, and Gabby and the team have been working real hard. It's got a lot of people excited. So we're going to be bringing more people to the party. And I think that about wraps it up with questions for now. I think
that
they
sounds
wanted...
good. The only other thing I'd mention is you can always get started for free using Grafana Cloud.
Oh yeah, free forever. And we'll throw in
some
logs and metrics there too if you want.
There you go. So yeah, I think, Sam, that's all the time we have today. Enjoy the rest of GrafanaCONline.
Okay, so that's a step through of what our typical transitions will look like from section to section in the show. Sam, you can see I've got this banner scrolling at the bottom. Sam, Daniel, and Katie, this is where I'll want us in the project planning doc to have some preset lines that we can put down there for break times. Katie, I got your note about adding some light background music in. Totally possible. And we will find some motivational and inoffensive music to do that. And I guess I'll join the party here as well.
Oh, wow. Jordan.
Special guest.
Breaking the fourth wall here.
The inverted pyramid. Oh, who we got here? Got someone.
Oh, it's just me.
Okay, so, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure what, there's some discussion going down in the Slack, Jason, just to key you in on this.
We're still streaming for them though, right?
Yes, we are. They can
us.
hear us.
Okay.
They can hear us. So, and I'm monitoring the Slack too. If anyone has anything to bring up, Julie, Katie, and I'm sorry I don't know your name. GR. Great.
It's me, Grafana.
No, Jay.
Oh, no, that's Scott.
I'm
That's Scott.
Grafana.
Oh,
Yeah. Scott's
Yeah.
last name is Fingerhut, and he likes to think he's funny with his. He just mashes words together.
So Scott, yeah, sorry, Scott, I've got it now. Julie, first of all, that scroll will not happen over that static background. It will only be happening over the loop or the still image that has a bigger logo up top. So it won't cover. We're only using the one with the GrafanaCONline logo at the bottom for multi-views and stuff like that. Scott and Katie, there's nothing as far as I can tell that would be dithering down our connection. I can say through StreamYard that the demo did not appear soft to me, but your mileage may vary in terms of what you're seeing in your player locally. Jason, maybe you could speak to that a little bit. We're also, I mean, we're doing this test today kind of distributed. We're not using our same show rig just because that's what circumstances dictated. But I was getting it in 1080 and it was legible to me.
how did it look?
Okay.
It looked good to you, Jordan?
It looked good to me. And Jason, they're
Looked
seeing
good
if
to
we
me.
could run one more video real quick. That should already be. Did you pull this one from Box? I think you did, right?
I did.
In that same folder, just find the link, and I'll drop the link in our chat.
I'm in box. You can just let me know what it is,
Okay.
what the name of the folder is.
And Daniel, could you just say it real quick? What's the name of the?
So the one you're looking for is Safecast, Matt Schaefer.
Is that from the week, the 15th through the 17th block?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second. I only have next week's loaded for Jason's side, but yes, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, then go ahead and send me the link in that case.
Okay, I'll put it in the same folder. Safe lock.
Yeah, my suggestion would be if you're watching it inside an iframe or something, to actually pick a resolution down in the corner on the gear icon. 480, 720, 1080, and your, image should stabilize. Because if you have a variable connection, it's going to try to jump between different resolutions.
I am not finding safe lock.
Safecast.
What's up?
Safecast.
Safe cast. That either. Which day is it on, Daniel?
This one is on high level schedule. Matt.
I see it. The 15th. It's our fourth thing. Making environmental data open with Grafana.
That one. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I forgot that it didn't have the name in the title.
It's all good. All good. This one might not, Jason, I don't quite remember, but this one might not have, you've been editing that intro into the actual video, right? You're appending those.
No.
No? Oh, you're just playing it manually at the top?
No, I edited the intro as a standalone.
Cool. Great. So that is now in the same MT 77888 MT edits. I just dropped it in the week one folder since you already have it. Should be at the bottom of the list. Yeah, sorry, Katie. I was not looking at Slack. Thanks for taking that off. And yeah, Scott, please, if you want to jump into the StreamYard, feel free if you want to have a conversation with us.
What's the actual file name?
The actual file name is Matt Schaefer v2.mp4.
And what folder is it in? I'm looking in week 1 edits. I see another. I don't know whatever it is.
Oh, sorry. The folder name is 0615_5_ making environmental data open with Grafana dashboards.
Matt Schaefer, you said?
Yep.
Sorry, you broke up there. Matt Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay, it's downloading. Oh boy, I'm not on my fiber connection. This is going to take a minute.
Alrighty, we can hang.
This is 1.2 gigs. Yeah, it's going to take a second.
Okay.
I've got fiber. It's great.
Yeah, so do I. Not at my mom's house, though. It's going to take a second.
Jason will not be at mom's house for the show, so
yeah,
no worries about that.
Let me see if something works.
Yeah, you can also download it too, Jordan. If
Okay.
you're on a speedier connection, because I'm at 0.1. It's just climbing.
Mine will be done in 2 minutes.
Good. And then you can go ahead and share it as well. What do we want to see? We just want to see this video.
Yeah, I think they want to see something with a little bit more demo action on screen and make sure the quality's good.
Gotcha.
Quality. What do you got going on this weekend, Daniel?
Let's see. Well, our beer league hockey league is actually back playing again because California is doing well on vaccinations. So I'm going to play my first game in 15 months on Saturday.
Wow.
Or Sunday.
That's going to be, that sounds like you're going to be very sore.
I've skated 3 times already. I am reminded every time that I'm not as young as I used to be. But it hasn't been as bad as I thought.
Nice.
Then again, I haven't skated in a competitive atmosphere, so perhaps I'm going to run into a bunch of people, fall down, and hurt myself. Not like run into them like I'm trying to check them, run into them like I'm terrible.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Ice hockey.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm playing pickup soccer tonight for the first time in about 18 months, so looking forward to a weekend filled with pain.
Is anybody going to have a weekend that's not filled with pain? Sam, hopefully you don't have pain on the schedule.
I'm interviewing a drummer Sunday to try to make a band happen at some point. Getting back out
We'll
there.
put that firmly. We'll put that firmly in the pain column.
Yeah. This one seems
I hope not,
legit.
though.
This one seems legit. So we'll see.
That's good.
How's your download coming, Jordan?
It just wrapped.
Nice.
And so I'm going to go ahead and play this video file.
The demo is in the middle. I want to say
Okay.
it's like about 10 minutes in.
You can scrub too, Jordan. If you hover at the shot at the bottom, you can scrub across.
Great.
Thanks for coming. This is Making Environmental Data Open with Grafana Dashboards at GrafanaCONline. I am Matt Schaefer. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am and one of the places, a lot of the ideas are things. Next, I want to show off the radiation data as well. And so here we have, and then we also have these air sensor recently. As I mentioned, we have for the BGeigy Nano devices, we have a new chip on the front here, which enables Wi-Fi connectivity. And what that let us do is basically start doing like live streaming of this radiation data as well. And so here we have our GeigyCast Drive dashboard, which is highlighting a particular GeigyCast device that was out in the field. And I have this one selected because it has this really nice big spike here that we can just sort of zoom in on and see what was going on. And sure enough, we have one of our live reported drives from right inside the disaster site, basically as close as we were allowed to get. And you have all that data there. You have the map, which shows you the radiation values as the drive progressed, adjusted for the cesium, which is sort of the dominant isotope in that area. Color-coded according to the radiation levels. You can see the time spike over here. And then also this is all just available, right? So this is basic Grafana stuff. So if you want to download a CSV for yourself, you can just go in here and download a CSV for yourself and play around with it. So, and I would love contributions to this sort of stuff as well. If, you know, just sign in, send me a note, and you can edit and play around to your heart's content. Next, I want to show off the mix map. So this is just one thing we've been experimenting with. Right now, the SafeCast map that I showed earlier is very radiation focused. We would love to be able to show more kind of mixed air versus radiation, because depending on the sensor, some are radiation, some are air. There are a few that are both out there, but for the most part, they're one or the other. So we have this map that highlights air sensors in red and radiation in blue. And so this gives you the ability to kind of zoom in and, you know, pick some sensor in an area, click on it, and then it brings you to a general device overview. So this, I clicked on an air sensor here. So it's not reporting CPM, but we do get things like battery voltage, air quality measurements, humidity, pressure. Again, we have the export data that you can grab your CSVs from. And then we also have all the raw documents down here too, so you can see exactly what's coming in over the wire. The next dashboard I have to show off is a long-term graph that I set up. And this one was actually a really interesting one to sort of show off the power of
Hello.
Hello, we're back.
So I think, so Julie and Scott, I think, are seeing the same thing. I think it's down to, Scott, I agree. There is, I mean, there's a little bit of softness on text that appears to be below like 12 point. Let me A/B that super quick with the video right off my hard drive. And I'll try to get a screenshot for you here as well.
And Sam, I don't know if this is the case on your demos, and your screenshots, but a lot of the times that we have screenshots in the actual presentations or demos, the specifics of the actual data in there, or even like the little points that they're trying to showcase, isn't as specific as just showing off the overall imagery or the demo itself. You're muted.
Yash Varden does like a whole walkthrough of synthetic monitoring, and so like there are like little menus you kind of need to see, but it's the way we did that demo is Steve blew it up full screen. Like you don't even see Yash Varden's video, like a webcam in that. We just try to give it maximum real estate.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, we can from. I'm just trying to think of ways we can get around this. Obviously, Matt's video is from, or Matt's demo is the second week. So if we wanted to blow up his video full screen, we could. But I will also say that you probably saw in that video, he shows some of the sensors he has with him as he's pointing out what the demo is. So there isn't really a good way of, you know, zooming in and out when we have to go out, when he's like, yeah, here's the thing that I'm showing you right here.
Yeah, and I think Scott is definitely right. There is a little bit of softness around very small text and some of the graphics, and there's always going to be that issue with encoding. I mean, if during the live stream, we're talking about encoding through our production software all the way through YouTube. I think the answer is to make sure that stuff that needs to be seen at that scale, at that small scale, gets blown up a little bit. Because yeah, Scott, it is slightly more crisp when you're playing straight off the hard drive. It's because it's not hitting, 2 levels of encoding RTMP back to H.264. You're gonna get a little bit of artifact there, even when it's in 1080p. So to that end, I think making the full screen toggle very obvious, making the demo itself full screen within the playback window whenever we have the chance. Katie, I will talk with our editor about that and make sure we're picking that up. If we can get our internal presenters to maybe, if there's a way that we can earmark where those demo heavy sessions are. I didn't see notes like that necessarily in their submissions, and I'll double check with our editor and make sure it's getting flagged. Yeah, Katie, for sure. Sorry, I realize I'm on about a probably 15-second delay, so. For sure, Scott, I hear that too.
Scott, would you want us to, so again, we have some presentations externally that are just showcasing screenshots. We do have every bit of the external presentations with the picture-in-picture, except for the part that that Sam was talking. We don't have a tremendous amount of time to go back and edit all of the week 1 ones right now. The week 2 ones, we might have some wiggle room. But again, it's up to you.
There's also one external one that's a special case where he basically just ran his own OBS setup and he's like full screen and like green screened into the corner. I'm just trying to think of other ones where it might be an issue, but for the most part, most people have their screenshots pretty big.
Yeah, I know for a fact, like it's the Salesforce talk that I'm thinking about that is a little less clear than it. You would want it full screen, but we were just thinking that picture-in-picture was the go-to. We can go back to Steve and ask him to just edit out all of the videos, but that's going to get a little wonky, I think, if we have some people that are faceless. Fingerhut is typing.
And thanks for that, Katie. I will, if you can add in live demo timestamps to the program plan, I will communicate that to our editor. Yeah. So takeaways from today, I know that you all had a pretty in-depth conversation maybe about some web design stuff that you want to touch again. In terms of show flow, I think the only thing we need to change, not change, but add in is we'll have some nice kind of chill music going during break loops and stuff like that, so people know that you all, that you're live. And then are we all good on the transitions? So in terms of that nice little intro animation, straight into the playback, and then the same loop animation to the Q&A. Did that feel good to everyone who was observing at the far end? Great. Well, barring any other comments from the Slack, I'm in the Slack through the end of the show, through at least June 17th. So if there's nothing else that we need to show today, Katie, we can talk about best process for double checking and making sure that we're responsive to what Scott's saying. Definitely hear you there, Scott. We'll make sure that stuff's as sharp as it can be and as big as it can be. So we will look at the demos and we will get that all taken care of. And barring anything else, I'm going to go ahead and shut down the stream for today. Katie, I'll be talking to you before the weekend, and I'm sure over the weekend.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Oh, yeah. And join our Slack.
Join our Slack.
Thanks, everyone, for coming.
Take your conference survey. Get vaccinated.